Views expressed on this program are those of the host, guests, and callers, and do not necessarily reflect the views of the station, its management, or advertisers. You're listening to Transformation Talk Radio. The Coach Peggy Show. All things wellness with Coach Peggy Wilms. How many people in your life have told you you're half of this or half of that? Are you settling? No more. This show is about all things, and you deserve it. It's about your money, your lifestyle, your beliefs, and even romance. We extinguish excuses and raise the bar to all things possible. It's time to use your ATM. You know, your all things mindset. Welcome to the Coach Peggy Show. Bold, badass, and never half in.
Hey, you guys, happy halfway through November. I'm so glad that you're with us. You can't see my us yet because it's just me. It's the Coach Peggy Show, and I am Coach Peggy Wilms. As it said, this is all things wellness. We go all things wellness, all things well-being, and you've heard me say a million times, I have my 24-spoke wellness wheel, so we talk, organization and relationships and food, and we talk about exercise. And today we're talking about keeping your promises, integrity. We're talking about figuring out your purpose. We're talking about collaborations. I mean, we're going to go off-road with this lovely gal that I have with me today. So I'm so glad that you're with us. If you're out walking and about, I always go ahead and grab something to drink here. We're going to see what Isabel's drinking her stuff out of, if she brought her mug. Ooh, did you? Oh, brought her bottle of water. Hey, there's no judgment here. Okay, you guys, so let's go ahead. When I was thinking about what we were going to talk about, okay, let me just say this ahead of time. The topic looks so highly, professional and just, Isabel, you know that what I'm talking about. And it's like, look, networking is dead. And, here's how to survive. This girl is going to give us great conversation. We're going to talk about how she got where she is, and we're going to talk about how it can make a difference for you personally and professionally. So I want to tell you a little bit about my lovely gal, Isabel Donadio, founder of Support Services, TSS. I came up with that. That's pretty good. Majority owner of Speaker House Publishing. She is the bestseller and author of Finishing is Happiness. I love it. Editor-in-chief of Top Talent Magazine, winner of the 2019 TWC Most Outstanding Rising Star Award. This gal is deserving of any top 30 and under. So we could make up like knitting Afghans. Okay, she's going to make it the best. So she supports others in growing relationships. I'm so excited that she is here. Isabel, just want to say a big old welcome to everybody. I've got see my little mug here, my Coach Peggy.
Oh, I love that. That is awesome.
Nothing more narcissistic than having your own cup with drink.
It's branding. You're supporting the merch. I love it.
Supporting the merch, guys. Yeah, I'm trying to be real cool with my pink hair this week. First of all, really, really, really welcome, and thank you for being here. One of the things that I wanted to say straight up to you is that right now, for years, social media has gotten such a crappy, bad rap, right? It's like, stop rabbit holing. You're spending too much time. I know you're a mom with bonus kids, which I love, but we just go get off, and I was thinking about how I found you, because if we talk about social media actually being a good thing, because we kind of use it in business. If I have one more family member or friend say, you're always on there, you're doing so much, I can't figure out what you do. I'm just like, seriously, do you see any more newspapers being delivered? Like, you think I'm going to take out? No. So I found you, you guys are out there. You know how it is. You have Facebook friends, and then they give you recommendations of friends you might like. Try this friend. And then I organically look at people. Here's my point. When I found you, I was specifically looking for a person like you. I told my business manager, I said, I want to find a young person. I'm going to just say it, the demographics, a young person who is going to get the young population to show them they can do it. They can have a drive. When we're younger, when my son was little, he wanted to be a fireman and a president and a pilot and all that. And you go, awesome, right? And then
That's fantastic.
Yeah, we lose that when we get older. And so I just want to say social media, was great in helping me find you to come on here to help our listeners and followers. So, hey to Zuckerberg.
and thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited to be here. And you sent me 0 questions beforehand, so I really have nothing. I really have no idea what to prepare for, but I'm excited for everything just because I've been investigating your social media and I've seen the previous stuff that you've done, and so I'm really excited to be here. Thank you so much.
You know, we get a media kit, right? So, I mean, I have my media kit when people, and that's the going thing because nobody has any time. So you spend that time putting together your pictures they can use and the talking points they can use and the questions. And I reach out to you guys for that same thing, but it gets really redundant. It's like, how many of my podcasts am I going to watch of you or some author or some singer that if you send out the same, me too, I'm saying in my media kit, I'm hesitant to put out any talking points because I want conversation, relationships. So that's why the universe put us together.
And I'm excited.
I thought that would be best to get started because I want to know, we don't just end up where we are, right? We all have a story. We all have done a lot of work or not a lot of work. And you've done so much in your, I feel, short time, right? I know you're going to roll your eyes at me, but I'm older, so I can say it. I'm bolder, not older. She's shaking her head if you can't see her.
I like it.
So I just want you to kind of take us through. The one thing I really want to see the thread of is you had to have had this drive through your character, cellularly built in you, and a strong support system to weave through your personal and professional life. So drive, sister. Go ahead.
Thank you. I as easy state on my social media currently in the year of 2020, I'm 25 years old. But how I got to where I'm at, which is being a best-selling author, being editor-in-chief of my own magazine, being the owner of 2 companies, where it all started was a little pageant girl, a little pageant winner. I am the former Miss Teen California Latina 2013 winner. And that was an experience in of itself because I wanted to connect with the public. I love talking and having conversations with individuals, and how that prepared me alone in itself is it really helped me get out of my comfort zone and getting on stage, getting in front of a microphone, getting in front of a room full of strangers I've never met. Maybe I know a couple of people in there, but I'm talking about something that I'm passionate about. And at the time I was being kind of the front runner, the pushing forward of a Women Against Child Trafficking, and that became something I was advocating for. I don't do so much with them nowadays, but that was something that I was very comfortable talking about, and it was through that comfortability, and it got me more used to talking in front of people. And then I no longer had that title. 2014 came around, I handed down my title. And then I went on to learning how to do makeup. I got certified in doing makeup for a short time. And I utilized social media to try to find other jobs. And one of those jobs landed me the opportunity to be on the TV set of the Hollywood Entrepreneur that was hosted in Hemet, California. That was hosted by David Fagan. Show's on hiatus now, but that was kind of where I had an immediate evolutionary response, because the people that were coming on that show were celebrities. They were experts in their industry, and they knew where they wanted to go in life just by being on the journey that they were on. And I recognized that that was what I was going through as well. I was going through an evolution, and I didn't even realize it. So by having those conversations, learning those stories, and just by doing makeup, I was getting amazing advice. And I realized that it wasn't being just a makeup artist and a hairstylist that was my destiny. My destiny was to be an entrepreneur. It was to be a business owner. And that was my foot in the door.
Well, and it's stories. I mean, talk about the best place to hear stories. We always hear that, right? Hairdressers, makeup artists. I mean,
absolutely.
The amount of stories. And you know, what's interesting to me, and girl, call me when you're my age, which means I will be, oh my God, 75, but we'll have a good time. Cause we'll have a good time. But it's almost like until I got my age, did it feel like I could stand up and own, hey, I've done all these million different things that have still weaved the path of my purpose and passion, whatever it is, that now is coming together where I can stand up and go, this is who I am, like it or leave it, don't really care. And
Yes.
I can see you, and you had no issue with putting your foot in the water of a bunch of different things. Seriously. And and I read along the way, and I was doing some research, and I'm sorry, I can't think off the top of my head who it was, but millennials is the first generation that has split. So one half of the millennials, right, became the Napa Valley entrepreneurs, the super successful, saying to their parents, hey, don't need you. The other one's struggling and can't quite get started, maybe living at home. I'm just saying it's a different vibe. And did you see, when you became 18, 19, 20, and you were diving in, was there just no option for fear? Did you just want to hurry up and fail so you could be successful? What was the inner?
No, and that's actually a brilliant question, because there was fear, there was hesitation, but I knew that if I wanted to evolve, if I wanted to get where I knew where I could push myself and grow as an individual, I had to move past that fear and overcome it and just dive in. And so every other day I would almost have like a mini panic attack of, what am I doing? Am I making the right decision? Someone help me make the right decision. But I knew that if I just stayed in that mindset, if I stayed in that fear, I wasn't going to make it anywhere. If I was still there, I would probably still be a Starbucks barista. I would be someone working at Target. I would be someone working a 9-to-5 job. And I'm not saying that as a negative thing. If that's what you're currently doing right now, you who are listening to this, it is a moment of realization of, is this where you want to be? Is fear holding you back? Exactly. And that's where you have to have that realization. You have to have that uncomfortable conversation with yourself.
Yeah, we need a spot for everybody. So I was in corporate wellness for 25 years, and I don't care if you're the widget maker, and I am not downplaying. We need the widget makers. It doesn't matter. Or you're sitting in the C-suite and that's where you want to be. I always felt like I was kind of in the middle, the buffer. I'd represent the widget maker, and I'd go on up to the C-suite and I'd say, you don't get it. You don't understand what they're doing. But the point is as long as what you just said, if you can figure out if that's what you really want to do, and maybe you're punching the clock 9 to 5 and do it well, and you want to have your 4 babies. It doesn't matter as long you tell me that you're doing it well and you know what you want to do. Fear or not can stop you, right?
Yeah. I believe part of us are innately born with a level amount of passion, but it's how it's almost like a seed, how you plant it, how you love it, how you give it light, you nurture that, you push it, you challenge it. That's where you see those developments. And so if you have developed yourself to the person that you are today, and you are content with that, you are more than happy with that, then be the best that you can. If you are a watchmaker, make sure you are the best watchmaker in the world, because if that is your passion, have that be your passion. Let that be your field of expertise, and have it be an undenying realization for the people around you that you are the best in your field. So if that's what you want to do, be the best at it. If you want to be a speaker, challenge yourself, be the best at it. I did not become a speaker overnight. I am still, and this is almost embarrassing, but I still have a fear of public speaking, even though I did years of it, even though I did it for years, standing in front of a room of people. But to stand in front of a room and announce what you're passionate about, to say, this is how I want to help the individuals that I'm talking to right now, that is scary. That is terrifying. And I'm challenging myself to get better at it. And so thank you for having me on here, because this is a challenge and I'm excited to overcome it.
This is the thing that when you can almost fake it till you make it. This, you've been on that side of the red carpet, right? Where there's just those days you wake up and it's like, earn an Emmy, girl, brush shine, get one, because there just are those days. And for me, if I have 3 of those days in a row, I've just learned that over time. 3 days of not exercising, 3 days of not staring, and 3 days of not taking a bubble bath, whatever that is, I can have that self-talk, even if I'm in the lane of what I love to do and I'm passionate about. And you just kind of got to keep going. So to hear that you're saying, hey, I'm really good at what I do and I can stand up tall and say it, but it's the point of pushing and learning new. And once you get stagnant, man, that's a tough spot.
It is. It really is. And A lot of times too, so something I'll bring up either if it is on one-on-one conversations or it is in a group setting, the biggest thing that I focus on, that I'm a firm believer in, is developing your team as you grow. Because if the people who are surrounding you are not at the level that you are at, you have to evolve. You have to evolve as an individual, your team, because if you have a specific vision and you recognize you're not on the correct path, you need to course correct. That's how I became the best-selling author of Finishing is Happiness, because I'm not a writer. My book was entirely ghostwritten. I did not design the cover. I did not put on the back cover copy. The only thing I did truly for my book is that I did the interviews. I gave my hard information. I gave my vulnerable moments, my triumphs, and I helped develop it to become the bestseller that it is. But I had a team help me. So if you are on the path to success, you have to make sure that the team you have has that expertise, so that way they can carry the parts that you can't do.
So let me ask you this. So a lot of people don't get the team around them for nervous about lack of trust. Will they let me be the brand? How do I set those boundaries? So how are you so fearless? I mean, I love the fact that you're all about collaboration and team, because girl, as you get older, you can't do it all, man. I don't have the stamina that I used to. Hate to admit it. But I want to know how, everybody wants to know how you trust and mold and course correct and say, this is my vision, this is what we're going to do, and keep going.
Well, and the answer to that is what tied us to the very beginning of this conversation, is having those conversations, having those uncomfortable situations of where, can you do this? Can I trust you with this? And if that person is entirely honest with you in their answer, then you know that is someone that you can continue to work with. But if they say, honestly, I'm not this person for you, but I want to try, I want to evolve, have them be the support team, have them be someone that if your go-to person is not there, you know you have a backup. You know you have someone who is still being trained, still getting that experience. But how I developed my team was through those trials and errors, was through those overcomings, because I'm not a writer. I can write small copy, I can write a social media post, but I can't write a book. That is the hardest. That is the hardest challenge that I've yet to overcome, and that's something even my clients struggle with. But because I have such a great team, because I have found them and they have found me, we found each other, and we make each other successful. That's how we're able to have such great results for our clients.
The lack of I mean, you are so selfless. Like, I know you're not earning an Emmy right now, because you guys who are just listening, I can see her in her eyeballs. And that's one thing I'm good at after 31 years of doing this crap. I can look in somebody's eyes and know if they're BSing me or not. And you sincerely are, in my opinion, selfless enough that, I mean, no one says below what blank age, I want to help lift this person up and they'll lift me up. And it's all about collaborations and relationships and communication. That came from somewhere, Isabel. I need you to speak to our younger listeners, like give them some, was it really just being pushed into the water and going sink or swim? I got to keep trying this.
It honestly was. And I had such a fantastic upbringing with my parents. My mother and my stepfather did a great job. My biological father did a great job of pushing me and challenging me. So if I ever had a question, they had an answer. But if it was a hard enough answer that they didn't know, they would tell me to look it up. That's so like e pluribus unum on the back of the penny, out of many one. I didn't know what that answer was. They didn't know what the answer was. But as soon as I looked it up, it stuck with me forever. So you have to recognize the efforts of the people around you, whether it is family, whether it is friends. The people who are around you the most are the ones that shape you the most. But if you look around and you recognize that the people that are around you are living a life that you don't want, you have to evolve. That's when you have to have those tough conversations with yourself.
I love that. They say that the top 5 people that you are around, you either need to want to be them, or, you know, they need to be a little bit higher up, or they're all influencing you in a positive manner, and just keep
absolutely
with that 5, right? So if you look back over your years right now, who would you say is the biggest influence? I have 2 questions. I'm making this up as I go along, because this is what I do. What would be the biggest influence on a personal level and a professional level? Your biggest influences?
My biggest influences, personally, what would be my mother. But professionally, it's also still personally, but it's my husband. My husband and I own separate businesses, but we joint venture on a lot of things together. And so whenever I am struggling personally, he's there for me. He is my biggest supporter, my biggest cheerleader. And when I'm struggling business wise, he challenges me to overcome. He gives me the insight. He is the creative mind, and I'm the doer. I'm not so much the creative part of everything, but he still challenges and brings that out of me. So those are my two greatest influences in my life.
You're the left brain, he's the right brain, and it's
yes.
Balance. There's something that I found, I always, obviously I'm not just going to have someone on my show and not get to know them. So there's something that I found that you have said that I've never heard anybody else say. And it's an approach I have always taken. And I can tell you specifically, it was all the way back to my oldest son was at least 15, 16, 17-ish. And now he's going to be 34. Been doing it a long time. And you talked about, here's my opinion or my story and how it matches with yours. When I always approached him, and I do it in my relationships now, I do it in my friendships now with my parents, I approach with whatever hat I'm wearing. And yes. I have heard you say that. And I will approach to my oldest son and I'll say, Shane, right now, because we've been roommates too. I will say, I am your mother right now. I am your roommate right now. Pick up your damn, or I will say from a business standpoint, because he's a hard worker too. And I'll say, hey, this is what I'm doing. Tell us how you use, because I call it the hat, same thing. Yeah. I have a happy hour where I have 10 hats in front of me and I put each one of them on because I get over coachy, over teachy. People get sick of it in my life. So tell us how you use your hat in your life.
I primarily utilize those hats with my husband and with my children. When I'm in the business aspect of that time of day, I say, okay, I'm wearing the business owner hat. I'm wearing the business partner hat. I'm wearing the CEO hat. I need the office to just keep it cool for a minute, guys. But then I do make the point of saying, okay, I'm the wife hat. I'm the friend hat. I'm the best friend hat. Let's spend time together. Let's spend quality time together. Let's get loud. Let's make dinner. Let's do things together. But it's so important to make those points known when you're having conversations with people, because if you're coming from a different perspective and they're not mentally ready for that, then that is going to be, feelings are going to get hurt. So that's a great way to reduce that from happening.
I absolutely am totally aligned and totally get you on that. And again, the whole communication thing, especially even with people at work or who are working for you in your business. Otherwise, we're guessing. I mean, seriously, who wants people guessing, especially when it comes to collab, if you're trying to figure out, am I helping you with what I'm doing? It's just this massive miscommunication. Yeah. So before we go to break, I want to ask you, let's see, what is the most amazing thing that you have learned so far in the good old COVID-19 experience? What's been a kind of an aha?
Never doubt the power of having a good routine, whether it's a day routine or a night routine.
Okay. I'm in love with that because I just can't wait to hear. So give me an example real quick of what your night routine is that you're so glad that you kept in play for this past time.
The night routine that I have is just, washing my face, getting my pajamas, brushing my teeth, but most importantly, laying out my clothes, whether it's gym clothes or work clothes for the next day. So when I wake up, I already have those intentions set and I make sure that I follow through with them.
That is sweet. Do you go to bed on the earlier side and get up early? What are you a lion? That's what they call
sometimes I'll go to bed around 8. Sometimes I'll go to bed around 11, but usually I wake up around 6 in the morning.
Yeah. Okay. This is good. So when we come back, we're going to do a lightning round where I'm just going to ask a couple of random questions. Okay. Then guys, we're going to get kind of in the meat of stuff. Cause I really want her to explain. I want Isabel to explain more stuff about how you at home during COVID, often working with your partner in another industry. We got lawyer, doctors, Indian chiefs, everybody at home. So I want to just talk about how we can set some goals and finish them and what that whole process looks like. So listen, you are listening to the Coach Peggy Show, and I do not want you to go anywhere because at the end of the show, she actually has some giveaways. So come right back.
Are you one of the many women in the world who've carried the burdens of work and family with the added circumstance of the pandemic? Well, you are not alone. Join Mary Rose Campbell with 5 other powerful women on Saturday, December 5th for the International Conference on Resilience for Women as they share what they've learned to create power for themselves under any circumstance. Walk away with the tools and inspiration to motivate and empower yourself. Don't miss this global online event, Saturday, December 5th, starting at 9 a.m. Pacific, noon Eastern. Stories packed full of possibility, power, and of course, resilience. Be empowered, inspired, and committed to your own well-being. Coming together with powerful women, knowing that you are not facing life alone. Get your tickets now at resilientwomensconference.com under the register tab. That's resilientwomensconference.com.
Tales from the Merworld with Amira Bath, exploring the mysteries of Atlantis and Lemuria, airing every second and fourth Thursdays at 1 p.m. Pacific Time. Tales from the Merworld Radio is a blend of mythology, theology, and ancient history, and Amira's own soul channelings. Are you ready to explore and validate the possibility that we are much more than our earth bodies? Amira Bath's Tales from the Merworld Radio holds safe space discussions for remembrances and memories of topics like multidimensional existences and simultaneous lives. Together, we will be raising our vibrations through stimulating conversations and the opening and releasing of the remembrance of our soul purposes for this incarnation. Join me, Amira Bath, for Tales of the Merworld Radio.
Hey everyone, it's me, Psychic Medium Jamie.
And me, Spirit Walker Nicole from Shades of Spirit, bringing you another Shades of Spirit tip of the week. Jamie, have you ever wondered if spirit or an angel is around you or your home?
Ever since I was a child. And today we're going to go over a few signs and indications that they are near us.
What about hearing your name called but you can't quite find the source? Does that happen to you?
All the time. I see moving shadows or bursts of color out of the corner of my eyes.
I'll have objects that go missing and then turn up in the most random places.
Especially when you're trying to get out the front door. I'll have electrical devices that turn on and off for no reason.
I'll see repetitive number sequences such as 444, 1111, or 1234.
Join us each week, Monday mornings at 8 a.m. for our Shades of Spirit podcast on Transformation Talk Radio. You can also follow us and make appointments on shadesofspirit.com or give us a call at 858-684-7575 to book your appointment.
Sorry, I had a whistle.
My gosh, that was amazing, you guys. Welcome back to the Coach Peggy Show. You totally missed. The outtakes are so amazing. I need to start taking them. But Isabel and I were like whistling and doing our little, jig here. So we had lots of fun while you were gone. All right, we're going to do a lightning round really quickly. And then we're going to get down dirty again. So my lightning round, couple of questions that I have you. So again, you've been exposed to a lot of people, whether you were Latina, teen, Miss California, owning businesses now and all that. I want you to tell me, let's pretend it's red carpet.
Okay.
The funniest story on this side of the red carpet where you were in a pageant or whatever, and the funniest story you heard either doing makeup or with them, whoever you're willing to talk about.
I'll have to think about this one. Okay, the funniest story I've heard, being the pageant, being the person being interviewed on the red carpet was, it wasn't something that it wasn't the funniest thing that I was told, but what happened, the person that was going to interview me was walking towards me and there was a lip in the carpet and they totally fell. And they knocked over their own camera and then they knocked the camera onto somebody else. And so it's kind of a slow motion domino effect in real life. And we had the pleasure of watching the live video.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
Okay. That stuff happens. You just have to laugh at it.
It does. Yeah.
Have you ever overheard a really kind of funny story, or like, you don't have to ever say who, but some subject where you're like, what? When you were.
Oh my goodness. I think the funniest one that I heard was when they pulled up to a friend's house in Beverly Hills for a Christmas party, and they did not have the parking brake down all the way. And if you know Beverly Hills, you know how hilly it can be.
Literally.
And so their car kind of went for a ride solo. It was stopped, unfortunately, by a tree. So that's probably the funniest one I could think of off the top of my head at the moment.
I think we all know somebody who's done that. Seriously, it's so crazy. Thank you. Okay, so I want to talk about the why, the purpose. Why am I here on the planet? We're hearing that a lot more from the younger population who are trying to just figure, they're getting their voice, right? We had more vote this election than ever. So I think we're standing saying, hey, I got to take charge. But one of the things that's been frustrating over my career is when somebody comes to me and they're like, I don't know why I want to lose weight, or I don't know what I'm on this planet to do. I don't know what my purpose is. And when I was thinking about this and talking to you today, what I've always said is it's what keeps you up till 3 a.m. or makes you want to get up at 3 a.m. There's something, whether it's painting or something. So how do you address that passion and do what you love and make it profitable?
I think I have two answers for this. One of them is the overall answer, I believe. And then my other answer is more specific to and cater to my situation and my passions. I think the overall answer to that is helping each other heal. It's why do we have mentors? Why do we have best friends? Why do we have relationships with our family? It's because we're all trying to overcome a challenge. And some of it can be more difficult than others. And so we have a support system to help each other heal. Whatever your situation is, you have a close niche group of people, whether your definition of close is 2 people or 10 people, you have them around to help you get through the muck of the day, get through the challenges of the year. The difficulties of a lifetime. You have them to help you heal and move on and move forward with purpose. But my specific answer to why I get up in the morning, why I believe I'm here is to genuinely help individuals become the person that they believe they were destined to be, whether it's helping them find a connection, whether it's helping them get connected to someone else on a podcast, whether it's helping them publish their book, their next book, helping make it a bestseller. The fact that I'm just helping them overcome smaller challenges is why I get up in the morning.
Oh my gosh, I love that. So, gosh, you're so into the collab thing. I just, you know what? I mean, I don't sense one single thing in there that, this is mine and I own it and you need to say, this is sincerely what you're here to do. And when somebody is really attached to their purpose and they know it, it's so transparent and it's so authentic when they talk and it's so unrehearsed. And that's the way you are. So if someone comes to you and says, Isabel, I want you to help me kind of peel back the onion and figure out what I'm here to do. Can you just please help me with that? I have high work ethic, but what are we going to do with them?
Yeah. So the first thing I would do with them is to just sit them down and just have the conversation of what is something that you are highly interested in? Are you interested in going back to school? Are you interested in doing a 9-to-5 job? Are you interested in being part of the entrepreneurial world? And that's kind of where I discover more about them from there, because I understand whether they are more into security or they're looking more into the challenge and wanting to pursue the never-ending job of being an entrepreneur. And from there, we have the more in-depth of who is it that they want to help? Who is it that they envision being their niche? If they were to write a book, what would their message be about? And that's kind of where I have the initial conversation. And then we get more in depth from there.
Oh my gosh, that's so good. I was just thinking about when you were talking, sometimes we just don't know who to reach out to, right? We just don't know how to, and sometimes it's just that podcast you listen to, or like, David, my producer, we were chatting off, when we went off air, and sometimes you don't know who's going to inspire you. And especially at home right now, it's so different than this conversation maybe we would have had a year ago, where everybody is home and your self-confidence, you're not dressing up to par, and everything's just kind of feels like it's getting closed in, and seasonal affect disorder can kick in certain part of the countries. The sun isn't out as much. And how would you recommend as a collaborator, as a team believer, that we keep those relationships and communications going right now?
The biggest way to do that is just call someone, send them a text message, check in with them, just say, how are you doing? Truly, how are you doing? And some people have like, oh, I'm good. So it's like, okay, so how's so-and-so doing? And then, so you're trying to find all these other different avenues to find that little crack in the shield that they've developed almost, that you didn't even realize was there. And that's where everything starts to flow. And so just by having that conversation initially is just reaching out yourself, just saying, how are you doing? And even if they're fantastic, even if they're doing wonderful, ask yourself, how are you doing? Yeah. And then share that with them if that's your relationship with them.
We're both to-doers, and it's really easy to determine that strong left brain and the right brain. It's the ones that are kind of balanced. It's a little bit harder, but the to-do list, I want to do this, I feel good at the end of the day. I mean, I used to write down dusting when I'd done it so I could check it out, like psychotic.
It's scientifically, okay, there was a study that even if you already did it, the act of checking something off your checklist is just yumminess to the brain.
Yeah. And I've got somebody on the other side. So I know you have these people in your life too. What makes you different than people I've chatted with is you have your creative types, the ones who like to be more. And that side of the brain is stimulated through throwing paint on the wall. Doesn't matter. But what you say that is different is finding that balance. Like you explained with you and your husband's relationship is that, and you're willing to say you're a ghostwriter. Do you know how many people won't even admit that crap?
Yeah.
Seriously. Like, I can't write a book, but I have a best-selling book and I didn't write it. I have the content. It's about my stories. So absolutely. How do you, because your job, your passion is to bring joint ventures, bring like-minded and unlike-minded people together. How do you seek out to do that if they're not knocking on your door? How do you do that?
I do that specifically through affiliate partners, promoting partners. We have an event, and this is something that I meant that we talked about earlier. Is it okay if I bring it up now?
Yeah.
The Top Talent JV Mastermind, it is an event where people like me, people like you, Coach Peggy, where they come together from all over the world and they're looking for others like them, whether they need someone to help them finish a project, finish a website, finish a book. They're looking for someone to joint venture with on a project and make more money from that. Whether you are just looking to connect with another soul, just somewhere out there in the world and have another personal connection. It doesn't even have to be about your business, a personal connection. The Top Talent JV Mastermind is a place where everyone is welcome. And it is a realm of givers, people who will eat, sleep, and breathe giving to others. They almost don't want anything from you because they'll feel compelled to give back. And this event is entirely free. To come to the event, to participate. This is a 3-day event that we host, and it's free for everyone who comes.
Really, explain to detail so everybody gets.
Yes, absolutely. So this is entirely a virtual event. And so one of the gifts I was going to offer, and I will offer right now, is the free ticket. So if you go to toptalentjv.com, put in your phone number, put in your email, you will get an email from me saying, welcome to the Top Talent JV Mastermind. And when you get there, even if you just come for an hour, you will be inspired, you will be blown away, and you will have more connections than you know what to do with. And it is just a wonderful place where if you are looking for a connection, no matter what it is specifically you're in need of, and this is for where you're in need of something, whether it's personal or business, this is the event for you to be at.
And you don't even know what you're in need of half the time. You know what I mean?
Correct. Yeah. You don't even know what you're in need of. And this all goes beyond the word that we knew of just networking. Networking is when people give you their business card and say, think of me, when you need this particular thing. What we create are joint venture relationships. These are people who are always on the lookout for someone who can help you. So if you are in need of something, or if you know someone who is on the lookout, this is a great event for you.
Which is so this is what I'm seeing, the fearful thing. And I'm even experiencing it too. If I get one more post, one more email that I'm going to make 6 figures this month, if I buy one more funnel, one more lure in, one more webinar where at the end it's tricking me and package. I am so so frustrated. And the tease, it feels like that I'm going to miss opportunities like yours for not worry, but just wondering, like giving my email, like how many emails am I going to get from that when I already have 1,000? So tell us how we find the real deal. Obviously this is a real deal. What are the dates of this first?
The next one coming up is going to be January 11th to the 13th of 2020. This is a 3-day event from 8 a.m. To 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Super awesome. Okay. And you will hold multiple ones through the year? Yes, we hold one every 6 months, a 3-day event every 6 weeks. I apologize, every 6 weeks. Yeah, big difference, girlfriend. Like, don't yourself. Let me just help. Let's collab and me help you. You say that, right? So how can we get people, younger people that are home, people who want to do something different, people who are on unemployment, and to take some steps and find someone they can trust? We're afraid right now of the government screwing us over. We're afraid of somebody trying to take our last dime. And talk to us. How are we going to find sincere people like you? Obviously it's you, but what are the steps that they take? The first step you take is just the initial hello, just having that first step. But I want to take it a step further and make it more of a connection for you. So I actually want to give you my Calendly. I didn't even tell you I was going to do this, by the way, but I want to give you the listener right now, my Calendly link. And I want to get on the phone with you for 15, 30 minutes, because I want you to know that there are people like me who genuinely want to help you get where you belong, get you where you need to be, but you just don't know how. And that is okay. I didn't know anything about this 5 years ago, but yet here I am. And so I want to be that person for you. So my Calendly is calendly.com/TSS finisher. Spell it out. Calendly, KALENDY.com/TSS FINISHER. And you guys, I'll put it in the comment section when I start spreading this link of this show after, so you'll be able to see that. You know, when you were just talking just now, again, you're starting your path, and I don't mean to be disrespectful for this. I am working with college students, and you can see your path. You're starting out, the vibrance, the excitement, the I can do attitude. It is there. We've got 40, 50, 60, 70-year-olds going, okay, did I miss my boat? Like, man, how much longer do I have? And right? Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Dive in. Yeah. We got to take the only point in time where it's too late is when you tell yourself it's too late for me. That's where the road ends for you. There is a never-ending opportunity out there for you, no matter what age demographic you are, no matter where you are in the world, no matter what language it is that you speak. There is always an opportunity for you. It's just getting you in front of those people who can help you get on that path and get started. That's how I got started. That's how I am here, is because I had those opportunities and I took advantage of those opportunities. And so I want to help give you that opportunity back and get you where you belong. One of the biggest lessons in life to learn, I was telling her when we were on commercial, you guys, I was saying, oh my gosh, I wanted 4 boys when I was like 16 years old, and I had 2, and I didn't know I had a daughter, immaculate conception, because it's got to be, I'm just saying. What you're also saying that is a really big key that I want people to hear is that when you share, it's this cyclical thing when you do it sincerely. When you share and you give, it comes back, and you share and you give. It doesn't matter if you do it. You're hurt 7 times or 70 times. And that is what you're saying, is give and share of yourself, and it comes back. Absolutely. It just does. Okay. We're going to take a quick break again, you guys. When we come back, just so that we can, David is my favorite producer on the face of the planet. And sometimes he's sitting back, just smoking, having a cig while we're doing the show. And so I got to give him something to do. So he's going to go sing for about 60 seconds. And when we come back, we're going to talk
Fad or for real. You guys know I whip out my gavel. We talk about something, whether I believe it or not. And then we're going to just see what some of the questions are that come at us and give you some answers. So we're going to be back.
Love it.
Yeah. You're watching the Coach Peggy Show, or you're listening from somewhere.
Are you one of the many women in the world who've carried the burdens of work and family with the added circumstance of the pandemic? You are not alone. Join Mary Rose Campbell with 5 other powerful women on Saturday, December 5th, starting at 9 a.m. Pacific, noon Eastern, for the International Conference on Resilience for Women, as they share what they've learned to create power for themselves under any circumstance. Get your tickets now at resilientwomensconference.com.
The Coach Peggy Show. All things wellness with Coach Peggy Wilms. Tune in live every first and third Tuesday at 6 p.m. Eastern on TransformationTalkRadio.com. Are you settling? No more. Coach Peggy takes on all things wellness. We go way beyond nutrition and fitness. The Coach Peggy Show is not afraid to be bold, badass, and it's never half in. For more information, visit allthingswellness.com.
Are you traveling most of your day? Do you want to take Transformation Talk Radio with you anywhere you go? Well, guess what? There's an app for that. Just go to the App Store on your Apple device or the Google Play Store on your Android and search Transformation Talk Radio. Catch all of our live shows no matter where you are. Thanks for listening.
Yeah, yippee skippy to that, baby. We're not done yet. Some of us are out here to educate and inspire. This year, 2020, is the year we gotta show me the money in the cash flow. I'm Dr. Pat. This is the Dr. Pat Show. This is Talk Radio to Thrive By.
Visit thedrpatshow.com.
You guys missed this little clap dance we did. It's amazing. Okay, you guys, you're back on the Coach Peggy Show, and I have Isabel Donadio. You know, I did a good job, huh? Donadio.
Yes.
That is so good.
Fantastic.
Just, sometimes you just have to give yourself credit where credit's not due. So, hey, she's spitting her water all over the place. What I want to ask you before we go to fad or for real, I want to ask you, if I were to say, what question did I not ask you tonight that you would love me to ask? What would that be?
Question I would love for you to have asked me would have been, because it's hard because you gave me such great questions that were unscripted, but I think the question would have been is how can people get in touch with I don't even know.
This is unscripted. I mean,
it's unscripted. I have no idea. You give me such great questions and avenues to communicate at that it's just hard. I can't think of a question. You're just fabulous.
Stop. Oh my God. No, you're fabulous.
You're like, no, please stop.
I'm really thinking about that because I'm trying not to say I think anymore. I feel we need to do a better job of taking ownership of going out and asking the questions and finding. If we're going to do research, if we're going to rabbit hole, just dive in versus waiting for people. I'm that way. Don't wait for people to come and knock on the door and say, hey, let me help you. We've got to dive in. Yeah. All right. So this is fad or for real. So, I have my gavel. I even have my little lovely thing. David loves this. So usually I talk about crazy fads or fad diets or products or anything out there, swallow the diet pill. In your profession, in your lane, what would you say in your businesses is a fad that's out there that may, or it could be something that you feels faddish, but you're like, no, that's legit. You think of anything?
I feel in my industry, I feel like what people believe to be a fad that is for real is having your image on the cover of your book. Yes. And the reason I say that is because people believe it's a fad because, oh, I'm not well known enough. I'm not a celebrity. I'm not, the top person in my field. I may be like top 10. So no one's really going to care that I'm on the cover. In fact, it's just too much. When that is a for real thing, the best way to start is have your cover on, is have your image on the cover. I have my cover on my very first book, and I'm still relatively new to this industry, even though I've been in it for 5 years, even though I've been working hard to make it happen. But what is definitely for real is having that on there, because that is iconic. The first image that people will have next to your face when they're promoting you, whether it's for a podcast, for a show, is it's going to have your face on it. And so that is a for real thing that I believe that people think is a fad.
Yeah, you got to stand up and you're the brand. Man, I believe that. That was the hardest thing for me, is to go, because everybody can speak to whatever subject. None of us are that brilliant that we've made something up at this point. We've heard something along the way, we've learned and we've captured and we've kind of molded. So owning your own brand, whether it's a name, whether it's a color, whether it's, you've got to stand up and be able to super love that. Oh my God, you guys, that is not, it's for real. Yay. Support. Okay. What is the most frequent question that you get these days? So this is kind of the Q&A piece. So a question that comes at you via email or person or whatever.
The biggest question I get asked is, what is it like to live with someone that you work with?
Love it. Yep.
Yeah. And just, so do I answer that as well, or do I just say what the question was?
No, it kind of, and you kind of like hit on it earlier, which I love too, is kind of the hat thing. You guys job. It's, building in that time with you guys working at home and building in that as a to-do person, it can often look like a to-do list. Like Friday night is the pizza night at 8:30, right?
It absolutely is. And what's funny too is at the beginning of the coronavirus and things like that, we had to be in quarantine, we would spend 24 hours together. And now it's more like 23 hours and 15 minutes, because now we exercise alone and we try not to ask each other questions while the other is in the shower. So we try to have those moments, but having those hats, having those conversations of, honey, I'm going to do this without you. So entertain yourself.
Communication piece again, right? We can't be communication. At least you've done it. We were talking when we were offline here, and we were talking about, even in the world today, agreeing to disagree, having the conversation, being respectful, coming from the place of, hey, this is my understanding. This is what I've read, just putting it all out there. And we're just not doing it, man. We're just not having those conversations. Tell everybody where they can find you and what your biggest call to action is for them right now, what they need to do.
Absolutely. So I gave you my calendar earlier. Definitely take action on that. That is a genuine offer. I'm limited on my hours, so you can't call me in the middle of the night, but I will make exceptions if that's what you need. So there's a call to action on that. Something else is go to toptalentjb.com, look at that event and see the testimonials of how it's impacted individuals. We've actually had people stop coming just because they have too many contacts. And so we want to give you those opportunities as well, whether it is for a podcast or finding someone to help you out. But the biggest way for you to get in touch with me is through my Facebook, my LinkedIn, and my Instagram, all with Isabel Donadio on there. I want to be a great connection for you. I want to genuinely help you, and I mean that from the heart. So that is something that I'm offering for you.
Girlfriend, seriously, so good. You just were amazing tonight. I know people are going to capture stuff from this, and I just appreciate you being authentic and just driving off road with me and just being like super cool.
Well, thank you so much for having me. And I have had so much fun. And this too has just given me a lot of great takeaways to be unrelentingly fearless, even if you are slightly fearful. And so that is awesome. So thank you so much. And you are now my new best friend. So
See, just coming together. Okay, you guys, I'm going to put in there in the comment section how to get in touch with our girl here. And I am so grateful that you are here. You know, I always say that I love you, mean it. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart. And let me tell you just really quickly about the next guest we have coming up on December 1st, Nick Stuller. Now, listen, he calls himself the money matchmaker. I had to already talk to him and interview him to see if I wanted to interview him, because I'm like, if this is BS, buddy, we're going to go to Knox. He is going to help us figure out in today's tough world how to come to terms with, you know what, we're not bad boys and girls with the way we've managed our money. We just have to be for real. If you have credit cards that are $10,000 and you need to figure out the deal, he's going to give you some strategies and tools to just let's just be for real. If you want to reach out to me anytime, of course, you can find me on my social media, Peggy@allthingswellness.com. Monday nights, I have my happy hour. Go live, go crazy. Don't know what's going on. Could have a unicorn hat or pink hair. All right, you guys. So I'm going to let you go. And I'm so glad you've been with us. David, take us away. Bye-bye.
Bye.
You've been listening to the Coach Peggy Show. All things wellness with Coach Peggy Wilms. Tune in live the first and third Tuesday at 6 p.m. Eastern on TransformationTalkRadio.com, where Coach Peggy talks all things wellness. Not just nutrition and fitness, but about all things, about your money, your lifestyle, your beliefs, and even romance. The Coach Peggy Show. Bold, badass, and never half in. For more information or to connect with Coach Peggy, visit allthingswellness.com.